Okay, we're live. Hello, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Today is Friday, August 13th, 2021. Okay, today we're going to talk about it being hard to walk when the knee is tight and when behind the knee is tight and achy. So we're going to get into that in just a second. If you have questions about your knee situation, please type those in the comments section. We're live streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the moment. So we're going to dig into the questions here that were sent in. Let's see, by YouTube. Okay, this question is not that one. Not that one. Yay. So many questions. So little time. Okay, there was actually a question yesterday. They were asking about scheduling a consultation. All of that is down below in the description box. You can go in there at any point in time, click the button, it goes to my online calendar. You can book an appointment, and we can chat about your knee. You can do that. Okay, this is from Melissa. This is from a YouTube video. The video was on putting nerves to sleep to relieve knee pain. Melissa writes, I have knee pain. Perfect. It started as a tightness, like a rubber band on the front of my knee. Had a leg day doing sled and squats. Then it started hurting behind my knee. It's achy in a 90-degree angle pretty much all the time. It is hard to walk after riding in the car. I cannot flex my quad or straighten my leg completely. Maybe a Baker cyst. It's a little swollen, but no noticeable bump. Any help is greatly appreciated. And this is very important. The way Melissa phrased one of the sentences in what she wrote is an indication to me that she hasn't gone to the doctor yet to get a diagnosis. Really, really important. Go to your doctor first. Have a doctor look at it. Have them do an X-ray, a CT scan, an MRI. Get a diagnosis, no matter how the doctor does it, to at least determine if something is broken or torn or not. And I know this was something that happened gradually over time. However, what ends up happening was when we can remove variables about what's going on with your knee, then we can get a clear direction of how to get you out of pain, of how to relieve what's going on. Now, when I work with clients, we start with creating comfort first and foremost. Comfort is the key to get you out of pain. It's the shortest distance from you being in pain and you getting out of pain. And I know it sounds simple and it sounds ridiculous. However, the biggest part of qualifying to make sure you can actually, you're a fit for the program, for me to work with you, is your mindset. If you don't even have the belief that comfort makes the most sense to get you out of pain, or that your body has the infinite capacity to heal itself, or that there's something that you're doing is actually getting in the way, preventing your body from healing what's going on in your knee, I'm not going to be able to help you. I'm not going to give you exercises right off the bat. I'm not going to say, hey, just, try all these supplements. No, it's very specific based on your situation. And that starts with the diagnosis, to understand what you're dealing with, what we're dealing with in order to get you out of pain. That is the very first step. So when Melissa is looking for help, whether something is broken or torn or not in the knee, there's still a tension pattern that is going on that is causing the tightness in the front of the knee, the rubber band feeling, and then the hurting behind the knee. This is one of those situations that tension builds over time. As we get older, we have accidents, injuries, surgeries, traumas that we experience as a result of being human, being a man or a woman. It builds up over time, and that tension that builds up over time is like a vice that gets turned. The handle gets turned one time each day. And when the vice is this far apart, it's not that big a deal. But as it gets closer together, you have less and less space for the nerves in your knee to be comfortable. And what ends up happening is eventually that vice starts squeezing on the nerves. So it starts with a rubber band feeling in the front of the knee, or at least this is what's happening with what happened with Melissa. And then it started hurting behind the knee. You see, your body compensates. It shifts and adjusts based on your experiences, what you deal on a daily basis, what you deal with. Stresses, relationships, financial issues, job, family, children, grandchildren, injuries, accidents, all of that goes into your experience of stress. The stress and tension builds up over time, and that's why a 2-year-old can fall, face plant right on the ground. They get right back up and they keep going. And you're like, well, how do they do that? And then you have an older person, depending on how much tension they have, they fall and then they break a hip or they get another injury. They don't bounce back because the body is less flexible due to the stress and tension that is built up over time. Of course, there's other factors that go into it, diet, nutrition, and breathing, and a lot of other factors, but that is the essence of what we're dealing with. Your experience of pain is determined and dictated by the nerves in your nervous system that connects to your brain that lets you know the knee hurts, that it feels like a tight band, or the pain is moved to the back of the knee, or now it hurts when you're sitting, or it hurts when you're standing or lying down. However it hurts is giving us an indication of the type of tension pattern that is going on in your knee, in your leg, in your body that needs to be addressed with comfort to change the neurological signaling to relax the tension in your body and give that stress and those injuries and those accidents and those traumas and surgeries a path to begin to move out of your body. This is making sense. Give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends, family, and loved ones. You want to know what to do next, you can head on over to my website. You can get on the newsletter list. You can check that out. You can also, oops, screen just went crazy on me. You can also, if you're looking for a consultation, be happy to talk with you. Schedule one of those at the following appointment link. Once again, all of these are in the description box below. We're doing these in both English and Spanish. And then for those that are looking for like serious help and support, you can check out Knee Club. Now, Knee Club is a group coaching program where I work with clients twice a week in a private, well, it's private, meaning it isn't public, but it's a group coaching call, a Zoom call. And you tell me what's going on with your knee. You say, just like Melissa, I have tightness like a rubber band in the front of my knee. I'm going to ask you where in the front. At the kneecap, slightly above the kneecap, below the kneecap, to the right of the kneecap, to the left of the kneecap. Which knee? Right knee, left knee, or both knees. And I'm going to give you specifically module 8 and 8B to begin working with your kneecap. That's going to start changing, creating comfort, changing the neurological signaling in your kneecap. See what happens after that. How does your body respond to the comfort that is being created as a result of changing the neurological signaling? Then it talks about the pain move behind the knee. So there would be modules 1 and 2 that I would give Melissa in addition to Module 8 and 8B to address the tension pattern behind the knee. Let's see how that changes it. So when we create comfort, you have an experience. Just like when you exercise, you have an experience. So what is that? How is that for her knee? How is that for Melissa's knee? And then we're going to see, did it get worse? Did it get better? Did it change? And we need to ask more questions around those. Did it move? Did the pain move? Is it still in the kneecap? Is it still behind the knee? Did it move up into the hamstring? Do you notice tension in the hamstring or the hip or lower back? Or did it move down the leg into the ankles, feet, or shins or calves? That's an indication of these tension patterns that we're looking at by looking at the body on a deeper level. We find a solution. We actually find a real solution instead of just looking at the knee and saying, well, how can we make the knee not hurt? Well, how can we make the knee not hurt in relationship to the rest of the body not hurting as well? The rest of the body not feeling tight. Many people who have been in pain for a long time would be like, oh, that's just how my body is. Oh, the pain's been worse. I can handle more. Or they're like, or they go into it, they're like, oh yeah, I had this back injury when I was in high school, or I sprained my ankle when I was in college, or you'll get into more of the trauma that your body has experienced over time, and then we get an understanding of how what's going on in your knee is not necessarily your knee, but how it ties in with your hips and lower back and all the other parts of your body. You get a pattern that goes from your toes all the way up to your head. And we begin looking at that and giving you tools and knowledge and understanding. So when you do go for the walk, or for this Melissa, when she's riding in a car, it's difficult for her to get up and walk after riding in a car. So what can she do? How can we take the tension out of her pelvis while she's riding in a car so that doesn't reflect in her walk or her gait when she gets out of the car? How can, if she's a passenger in the car or she's driving, it's going to be a different situation. What can she do if she's a passenger to relieve the pain in her knee so when she gets out of the car, it's easier for her to walk? So we need to look at all of these different factors because everybody's situation is different. Some people stand for work. Some people will have to walk for work. Some people sit all day at work. They're going to have different tension patterns. They're going to have different situations. They're going to have different busy schedules. They have different lifestyles. So we need to adapt the Knee Club program to what you have going on and make it work for you. So it isn't like you have to do physical therapy, set aside time to do physical therapy outside of what's going on with your knee. No, this is your life. This is how you live your life. There's things you're doing in your life that are creating the experience in your knee that you don't like. So how can we begin to incorporate things into your life to change that experience, to give your body tools to feel more comfortable when you're sitting at work, or you're standing at work, or you're walking for work? So you'd like those tools, wouldn't you? Well, that's what we do in Knee Club. We figure that out. We have dialogues. We figure out what is going to work for you instead of you just looking at you like, oh, well, you got this knee thing, and that's all we're going to address. No, it's much, much broader than that. Okay, we have a few people that are on the line here. If you have questions, feel free to type those in the comments section. I will be happy to answer those. For those that want some action steps as to what to do next, go down below this video. There is 3 links. One is to sign up for my newsletter. The second link is to schedule a consultation if that works for you. The third is to sign up for my group coaching program, Knee Club. And all of those are different levels of support depending on where you're at or what you need or what kind of help you'd like. Okay, no questions, no comments, no nasty remarks, and that's okay. If you're watching the replay and you like to comment in here, hold on a second, comment just came in. Oh, Candace, how are you? Are you still in Arkansas? Candace remembers me from the early days. That was 2002 or 3, something like that. Thank you, Candace. Appreciate you. So if you are watching the replay, you'd like to enter in comments, questions, whatever it is about what you have going on, feel free to send those over. I use those for future videos. Let's see, we got Melissa's here. Okay, one question. Oh, here's another question I could address. Does arthritis cream help? They have pain, they have bone on bone. Usually if someone's has bone on bone, you've been in pain for an extended period of time. It's kind of too little. Like, you need to really revamp the system. You got to take the situation seriously. And another thing, this is Scoot X. Wears a brace and it helps. No real pain when walking with the brace. And they say no real pain, which means there is some pain and that the pattern needs to be changed. The brace is at the very best a Band-Aid to put on a very serious situation that needs to be looked at. Otherwise, you're going to be going for a knee replacement, because that you got to change what you're doing if you don't want that outcome. And the question is, he doesn't want to stop walking for months to heal the body and then start it up again to begin all over. And this is what happens. I use the analogy of a car that got into an accident, that the frame is bent and crooked. And when people do rice therapy, or they just sit down to rest what's going on with their knee, they get up from sitting down or resting for a period of time. The tension pattern that was in the body when the knee was injured is still there. It hasn't changed. It hasn't been tested. And this is where we have to kind of take a few steps back, literally, and look at the pattern that's going on that's causing the issues. So we start with comfort. When the knee's comfortable, you're not going to have to wear the knee brace. You're not going to have difficulty moving. You're not going to be asking about arthritis creams. And we're looking at changing the neurological signaling. We're training the body how to be comfortable again. So this is what you can do when you're resting, sitting on the couch or sitting in a chair. You need to have tools that you can change the neurological signaling in your knee and in your body when it seems like you're not doing anything while you're sitting there anyways. So it makes sense why when you sit down, it stops hurting, but when you get back up, it continues to hurt again. So we just got to look at the whole situation completely differently. And it starts with your mindset. It starts with how you think about the pain. Okay, we've got a couple people here online. If you have questions on YouTube, please enter those in the comments section. If you would like to know what to do next, like what are the next steps, you can go down below this video in the description box. I have the link to my newsletter. You can sign up for that. You can sign up for a consultation where we'll talk about your knee situation and map out a strategy for you to get out of pain. And the third one is my group coaching program called Knee Club. And that's where we have calls twice per week to get you out of pain, access to the members area of my website that will give you, when we meet on those calls, those group coaching calls, I'll tell you the specific videos that are going to start getting relief in your knee today. Not going to wait for like hope it's going to work in next week or next month or in 6 months down the road. We start creating comfort today. And that is the key. The more you get the pressure off of the nerves, the more your body looks for that experience of comfort, that relief, that dropping down of your neurology where your body's able to recover. And this is where it gets stuck in when there is a perpetual cycle of pain. It doesn't know how to get out of pain. It doesn't know how to let go of the pain. So it's stuck there, literally. And by creating comfort, by working with the intrinsic movement of the knee joint, gross motor movement of the knee joint is bending and extending. Intrinsic movement of the knee joint is slight twisting side to side, forward and back, apart and together, and tilting of the joint. And when we work with those intrinsic movements of the joint and change the neurology, what happens is the body begins to heal. You give it the capacity, you increase the capacity of it to heal and feel better on a daily basis, without drugs, without shots, without surgery, without painful physical therapy. We're just focusing on what's going to make the biggest difference for you and your knee in the shortest period of time. And there you go. So we got some people here on YouTube and Facebook. If you like the information, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends, especially those that are limping. They'll appreciate you, maybe, if they want to do the work. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But that is what we got for today. No more comments have come in. I'll give it another 30 seconds. Probably do the next video here on Monday morning. And if you're watching the replay of this, ask your questions and comments in the comments section, and I'll see those and use those. Did you discuss stem cells? Not on this video. I have other videos that I have discussed stem cells. Your body produces stem cells naturally, and when there is an excess of inflammation in the body, it's going to address the repair it needs to do in the, your body prioritizes what's going on in terms of healing. It's got to keep your brain and your blood and your organs healed first. Otherwise, you die. Your joints aren't a priority. When you have excess inflammation in the body, your body is now sending those stem cells to, when there's excess inflammation, it's addressing the inflammation. Your joints aren't a priority. So what ends up happening is it robs the resources from the joints, the limbs, and keeps you alive. So in terms of like on a fundamental level, if you're looking at stem cell injections, then that's a very expensive procedure. And if you want to do it, go for it. However, if you're injecting anything into a joint that the tension pattern is not balanced and the joint is compromised, then what ends up happening is you're kind of throwing away money, from my estimation, because we have to change the neurological pattern in the joint to create the space for whatever you're injecting into the knee to hold. Let's see, Graham, you're back. Okay. Hey, Bill, I'm liking your videos. Thank you. What are your thoughts on people like me where it's only one right knee that has pain and the other is perfectly all right? Well, I'd challenge you on the other knee being perfectly all right. A lot of people, we're really dealing with awareness. We're dealing with awareness in our mind. We're also dealing with awareness in our bodies. A lot of times I'll ask people how their knees are doing, and they'll say, oh, they're fine. And it's because our neurology has this, our body has this way of kind of sucking it up and pushing through the pain. So you're a dad. And when your child has something going on, you'll forego your own needs to be there for your child, which means you have to ignore stuff that's going on in your own body in order to be there as dad. When that happens, there's a level we disconnect. There's a part of us that is required to disconnect. It's like, I'm hungry, but I'm going to be late for work. I'll grab something at the office. Or you play sports. So you injure yourself, but you got to be there for the team and finish the game. So there's a part of you that has to disconnect. It's a level of trauma. Like, if you want to look at it on a very basic fundamental level, there's a separation of consciousness, separation of awareness that takes place. So the process of working in Knee Club is reconnecting you with that awareness of what is actually going on in your body, what is actually going on in your knee. How is what's going on in your knee connected to the other parts of your leg? How is what's going on in your leg connected to your hips? Are your hips balanced? Because if your hips aren't balanced, guess what? One knee will most likely hurt, the other won't. So you can see how, as we start expanding out to make the connection with what's going on in your knee, it also explains the pattern of what's going on in the rest of your body. Like, one knee hurts, the other knee is perfectly all right. Well, is it? Does it hurt sometimes? Is it tight? The more we start to question it, the more you start to think about it. Just like if I were to pose, like, how many out there have seen the new red Volkswagen Beetle? And everyone will say no. But now they're going down the street and they heard that subconsciously that Bill said, the new red Volkswagen Beetle, and there it is. There's another one coming down the road. There was one parked over in front of that restaurant. And we start seeing these things that we didn't see before, not because they weren't there, but because we brought it to our conscious awareness. So in the context of Knee Club, in my context of working with clients, I'm asking these questions in a way that brings your conscious awareness to what's going on in your knee, in your leg, in your body. And that level of conscious awareness provides feedback for both of us to understand how we can create comfort in the part of your knee, your leg, or your body to change the neurological signaling, to give you a different experience, to give you a different level of awareness. How's that, Graham? It like, we talk about the physical pain part, but in order to have a holistic approach as to how what's going on with your knee ties in with the rest of your body, we can't just look at the knee. We have to look at other things. We have to broaden our vision, broaden our awareness to how the interconnectedness with what's going on with your knee is showing up in how you feel, how you think. So there's a lot to it. And the importance of these videos is to essentially sort out those that would detract from the members of Knee Club. Like I really put my time, energy, and effort into the members of Knee Club. Like I really want them to succeed. I want their knees to feel better. And I refuse to allow people into Knee Club or keep people in Knee Club that are going to be naysayers, that are going to detract from my focus of helping those that are members. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to me. I can handle all of the different types of questions. There's a lot of people that have no vested interest in their knee getting better. They really don't want to change, and that's okay. I'm not faulting them for it. I'm just recognizing that they're just not a fit. I've spent the past 2 decades of my life developing a program that nowhere else in the world exists. And I don't want to detract from all of that time, energy, and effort that I've put in to develop something that's very special, that I want to share with people who have the capacity of hearing what I have to say. It's important for me. It's important for those that are in Knee Club, because they do. They're seekers. They aren't just happy with exercises. Exercises to strengthen the muscles in their legs and hoping that their knee pain goes away. Let's see. Graham, thanks. I'm interested in your Knee Club. Are you able to share with us any kind of stats on the success rate of Knee Club? Yes, those that show up and put in the effort that is required, their knees improve. Those that don't, it's 100% failure rate for those that don't. 100% success rate for those that do. For those people where Knee Club doesn't work, it's really those who want to put in the effort, who want to ask the questions, who want to look at what's going on. The body is constantly shifting and changing, whether you notice it or not. Change is always happening. And once again, it's a level of awareness. If you don't want your awareness challenged, then Knee Club's not for you. What we say is a common reason for that. And it's effort. It's really effort. People that aren't willing. For instance, I will give clients homework specifically. It's like I will give you, whenever you start out with Knee Club, there is a quick start guide. And I give it to every client, everybody that signs up for Knee Club, private clients. They start with the quick start guide. Now, the quick start guide is a template. It gives you the 5 videos that works with certain ranges, intrinsic ranges of motion in the knee joint, and addresses what's going on in the hips and lower back. That's what they start with. And then there's some supplementation that we get into, and it's very basic. It's a stripped down model. And whenever they sign up, they're beginning to work with that template. Then we go, the first call. Calls are on Mondays and Thursdays. So you show up to that first call, and I will ask, well, what did you notice? You worked with modules 1, 2, and 40, and 22 and 23 for your hips and lower back. 1, 2, and 40 for your knees, 22 and 23 for your hips and lower back. And if they say, I didn't do it, okay, well, you got to do that. Maybe we can tweak and adjust based on where in the knee it's bothering you. Maybe add a pain pattern interrupt, a specific video for your knee, but ultimately you have to do the work. So if I give that to a client and then they don't do the work and they show up on the next call and say, well, the program doesn't work, my knee's still bothering me. Well, if you didn't do the work, how's it going to work for you? The work specifically increases your awareness of what's going on in your knee and the rest of your body. And many people are challenged. They don't want to be challenged on that level. They don't want to think deeper than exercises that'll strengthen the muscles in the legs. And so the program isn't going to work for that type of person. Now, I got plenty of members of Knee Club that show up, and we're constantly shifting and changing and adjusting the videos that they're working on because they're getting different results. And they're seeing that as their awareness changes, they become more aware of other parts of their body that are experiencing discomfort. It'll be like, it'll be the knee, but then your knee. I'm going to take you, Graham, specifically. So you got this thing going on in, you're not saying the right knee or the left knee, but let's say it's the left knee because I injured my left knee. So my left knee is injured. The way my body holds a tension pattern pulls my left hip back. Well, why does my left hip pull back? Because it has to pull back to make that leg shorter so I don't step on it. Well, what does that cause? That causes a tension in my hips and lower back to shift to the right leg. So I have more pressure in my right leg, in my right hip. So that causes a different tension pattern in my right hip, in my right knee, and in my right foot, which means the wear patterns on my right shoe are going to be different than the wear patterns on my left shoe, which is going to cause a whole host of issues. So I'm more likely to turn my right ankle because of the pressure and tension of how I'm holding in my right leg. Now, if I give you the pain pattern interrupts to work with your left knee and that to work with your hips and lower back, and we start evolving to other ones that are going to release the tension patterns in your hips and lower back, other videos, I need to know what you notice, or if you won't notice anything. It's going to be different. Now, some people just don't want to do that kind of work, like I was saying. So the program's not going to work for them. But I suspect for as long as you've been listening to me prattle on about all this stuff about the body and about knees and these different questions over the past week or so, you're not like the average person. You're not like you're looking for another solution. You're looking for something deeper, and you're just trying to get the level of trust in that. Well, I mean, the reality is the internet's a little bit of the Wild West, and that it's like, okay, you got this guy who self-proclaimed knee pain guru on the internet. You know, I mean, I get it. And that's why I do regular videos, and that's why I have a website that's been up since 2008. The Knee Pain Guru has. So I've been around for a minute, and I've helped lots of people, and I got tons of videos and people that follow my YouTube channel as well as the testimonials on my website and on my Google listing and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things that, you know, it takes time, and it's okay. I'm not going anywhere. This is my day job. I didn't intend to go into this as a profession back in 1999. Well, 2000 is when I had the knee surgery. So anyhow, got a few people online here. Appreciate the likes. If you have a question, please enter those in the comments section. If you want to take action, you can go down below this video, sign up for my newsletter, consultation, or my group coaching program, Knee Club. Let me know if that answered your question there, Graham, or questions. Okay. We've been going here for 40 minutes now. And that is what I'm going to do for today. I thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate your time. Appreciate the questions. It's all really great stuff. I have some yard work and things that need attention. So I'm going to go do that today. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, signing off for now. Take care. Have a good one.